skills, leadership skills. We are all leaders, that is considering all perspectives and making a final decision. Then number 5 is logical reasoning. Logical reasoning, that is weighing options accurately and gathering information. We talked about logic at the beginning when we are talking about intuition and logic. Then number 6 is emotional intelligence, that is recognizing and mitigating bias or emotions. So that means that sometimes people are very biased, because you have already made a prior decision. That is what we are calling bias. And that is why we tell people that when you have a conflict, especially in marriage, you need to ask who will be able to talk to us, or who can we talk to, because you can go to a person who is already biased. So that is what we are calling, and then emotions. The people who sell items, especially for women, what they rely most on is what we call emotional decisions, because of what we call impulse buying. That a woman can go to a supermarket and they did not want to buy something, but because they have seen it, they will make an emotional decision. Not all of them, I'm not accusing anyone, but there is a tendency to do an emotional decision, impulse buying. And women, when you go to the supermarket and you want to buy a pen, you just go straight to where the pen is and then you come out. So those are gender differences. But now we also need emotional intelligence in making decisions. Then number 7 is courage. Moving forward in the face of uncertainty or unpopular choices. That is why you find God, when He's calling Joshua, He says to him, be strong and very courageous. Because you need courage. Because most of the decisions that you make, they need courage. You cannot just make decisions because with fear, with the anxiety and apprehension. You need courage to move forward. Then number 8 is prioritizing, deciding which tasks or issues are most important and need attention first. So you make all the options that you have and the tasks that you have, and then say, this one will start, number 2, number 3. And the way you can do that, if you have 10 things that you need to do, you write all of them 10. And then you say, out of the 10, which one is number 1? Then you write number 1. Then you remain with 9. And you ask, out of the 9, which one is number 9 and number 1? Then you say, number 2. If that is how you do it, then eventually you find that you have already decided from number 1 to number 10. Because sometimes you cannot be able to make to do everything at the same time. So we say decision-making skills are important in life. Whether the choices you make can have a big impact on your family, your job, your colleagues, and the organization. We have said that before. So let us now go to the last subheading, the process of decision-making. So what is the process? Now we have looked at 3 subheadings. The first one is indecision. Leave alone the definition. Indecision, we have looked at questions, the importance of questions, and then we have looked at the skills themselves, and we have seen 8 of them, the skills that we require to make decisions. Then we go to the process, and then we will be done. So this is the first step. Identify the decisions that needs to be made. When you are identifying the decisions, ask yourself a few questions. And these are the questions. What is the problem that needs to be solved? Going back to our Acts chapter 15, what was the problem? Before you become Christians, supposed to do it. And then we come the next meeting, and the minister asks, there's something in the matters arising. We were supposed to do 1 and 2. And then the people will start and say, we are sorry, moderator, we were not able to meet. Or that assignment was not given to anyone. So, among the many things that I have said, you must have an implementation plan. You can have a calendar of events, but if you don't have an implementation plan, once made. So if you are a lawyer because you decided to become a lawyer. If you are a doctor because you decided to become a doctor, and the subjects that you chose. If you are a Christian, you are a Christian because of the decisions that you once made. So where you are is the decisions that you have made. Whether you have failed or you have succeeded, it is the decisions that you have made. Where you are going to be tomorrow. Because when people think about future, they think about 10, 20 years to come. But future is the next minute, and the next hour, and the next day, and the next week. So where you are going to be tomorrow
says, keep your eyes on the ball, but your mind in the game. Because if you keep your eyes only on the ball may move, may shift. From that side, the whole work is careful. So we can't lose sight of the big picture. He said that some of us get lost in the details. That's why I said I trust my notes. That some of us get lost in the details. There was one seminar I attended on entrepreneurship, and the speaker said that some of us are too analytical to the extent of becoming paralytic. You analyze details until finally you never make that decision. Getting lost in the details. What about confidence? Confidence. You know how many people we tell here, you'll be the one preaching. You'll be the one preaching. And then suddenly you'll be like, okay, tumeambiwa ni sisi killed kama PCEA tunaenda kuomboleza. Okay. Sasa wewe ndiye utatuhubiri kai. Nini kakuomboleza? And they argue, and some even want to run away. Then there are those issues. Lack of proper knowledge of the subject. This is a very key point. Lack of proper knowledge. He made a point from the English that literal knowledge, literal knowledge, dangerous, and I find it seriously damaging and dangerous. There are people who just look at something, ikipita hivyo, and then they make decisions and conclusions. They have no information, they have not asked even anyone. And I'm telling you, this is one of the things that have really affected us. This one. That we lack information and knowledge. Even the scriptures put it that God's people perish. For lack of, let me put it in my mother tongue. And wakai moraga, nani tura atele na tuane mo. Tu hiyo umesema ati kuna watu hawakuja seminar kwa sababu wanauliza si seminar ya leaders have attended it since the first time I became a deacon in 1989. Have you ever attended a leader seminar tukafundishwa kile tulifundishwa leo? Akili jibu, tukafundishwa ile tulifundishwa leo. Hata chicken notes. May we seek knowledge. And this is very, very important. And one of the ways of seeking knowledge is that we brainstorm, or we meet, or we discuss, or we benchmark. So moving forward, we're also discussing on how we do benchmarking. There was an issue of mental health conditions. Nilikuwa na kizungu mzito. Nakumbuka ile aboromani na pathological. That's why I encourage people to take notes. Because now these ones are go and look exactly what are these. And they play a big part. Then anxieties, being anxious, even the Bible has told you don't be. Because you're like, that's anxiety. And you fail to make a decision. This is one of the things that have made so many motorists do some very fatal accidents. And therefore, when you are taught by the Red Cross guys, the one who came to driving, he said, the first decision that comes to a driver's mind in the first 10 seconds is always right. If you decide to kanyaga brakes, that was right. If you decide to accelerate, that becomes right. But then he told us, if you delay that decision, the next one you will make, you will end up making some very serious mistakes. So anxiety. disorder. Now he said that he gave an example of you want to do something and then you call the mother or you call the father. I don't know whether you have ever known that you even come to a meeting, a kanisa, the officials who are there, they discussed, they are the ones inducted as the leaders. They have the vows, the group trusted that they will lead them, but then that decision will be made by people outside that meeting. I've seen it in presbyteries, I've seen it in parishes, I've seen it in groups. Can I drop a bombshell? Even here. Decisions are made by the officials, but they rely on an individual outside that group to go and tell them what to do. You know how it's done? They say, Chair, can we consult this a little bit further? There is nothing about consulting. They are asking, can we ask so and so? And the minute they ask the so and so, that decision carries the day. The desire and conflict, that was an interesting point. The head and the heart. And you know, we fall in that category. And especially when he said that the head is telling you, this suit looks nice. The heart is saying that this suit looks nice. And then the head is telling you, January. Unajua sasa wanaume wameanza kuhesabu zile siku zinatulizaka in 1 month. Jamhuri Day, kama unataka mtaji istina Christmas, Boxing, Jumping Day. It will even be more difficult if there is a member of that family who has a birthday within December. If the anniversary of your wedding comes in December, we count all this. But then the heart is saying this, the head is saying that. This reminded me the other day, I looked at some suits. The lady selling them told me these are called parliamentarian blue suits. Then the figures. Then the workplace decisions, the long term, the short term, and all that. In fact, as we finish, some of the things we'll be telling you to go and do as the leaders is to look at some of the short term decisions that we are thinking versus the long term. Then procrastination. Hii shida inakula watu wengi sana. Procrastination, one way key. Taking to tomorrow or the day after what you can decide now. Then asking great questions. You ask the right person and the right time. We've been saying here, these are democratic tracks. Instead of going around the whole of this town, making noise and making conclusions without the right information, please make a habit of asking the right question to the right person at the right time. That's how it was put. The right question to the right person at the right time. If a question belongs to finances, call the manager and ask him, or call Elder Benson and ask him, or call the treasurer of the congregation, and I told you anayefanyisha kazi, he takes advantage na anaitumia anaifanyisha kazi. Then let me leave the questions there. But there was the productive, the interpretive, speculative, subjective. What will happen if? What would happen if? Then we end with the decision-making skills. Analyze things. The other day I told you that one of the quotes I hate about us Christians is that we are an army whose soldier gets wounded, instead of nursing, we finish. And I give you an example. You don't need to hear much, just need to hear ile gari ya mchungaji tumenunua imepatikana pale Barnabas outside a bar saa 7 ya usiku. Instead of asking nani aliiona, kwanza yeye muulize, wewe ulikuwa unatoka wapi? Uliangalia kama gari imeharibikia hapo? Did you call him to identify ni yeye ama ni hijacked? You guys never ask for Hero. Question from this side there. Mwana kama ile sasa ya kukana gani? Yake nani? Question from this side. Engineer wako anataka engineer. Wako hapa ni. Tutachukua moja hapa na hiyo nyingine Kenya tupatie Bongo. Haya, sasa. No, that will be now gender insensitive. Kama wako ile kile kile hivi. Wanaje hiyo na kifedha na maisha yangu ni kile. So, the engineer hapa na Carl, the engineer hapa na Karen. Questions from this side? Questions from this side? Ziko jaribu. Wani yao ni nabeka ya. Huyo ndio mmoja. Akeli yeye kiingia kimo na yeye no. Akeli yeye kiingia kimo na yeye no. Na yeye sio yeye kiingia kwa nani. Au ufu. Haya. Microphone nyingine isipokuwa hii. Anza na hiyo. Hiyo iko mbele yako. Sio swali ya kwanza. Robert, ushike maswali. Kwa kifupi.
Bwana asifiwe. Mimi nataka tukuuliza swali tu moja mbili tu nataka. Kwanza, bado boundaries, yani sisi ni viongozi wa vikundi. Sasa nataka mipaka yetu iko wapi? One, kuna sometimes mchungaji mkiwa pale mbele, nyinyi wana watoto wanasumbua. Mtoto ametoka huko, amekuja ameshika ngoma ya mchungaji, ameenda kule amechukua maua, mwingine anasumbua hapa na microphone. Na ukiona hiyo the first thing mind yangu inakuja kwa teacher Priscilla ama Gladys, yani hiyo ndio ile ya watoto ama Asha. Sijui kama sisi viongozi ama viongozi tuna right ya kusema ama kwenda kutoa huyo mtoto hapa. Hiyo ni moja. Ya pili ni watu gani wamekubaliwa kukanyaga hii pulpit, because naona there's a lot of misuse. Hii pulpit ndio hiyo. Ya tatu ni kwamba ya mwisho, mimi nimekuwa kwa music for a long time na nimekuwa kwa board, mimi kwa mkutano mingi. Kuna sheria ambayo sisi tumepewa musician ama leaders ya kwamba kama nikija kanisa, nikija on a Sunday, I should not put on a t-shirt ambayo imeandikwa vitu zingine hapo kama Gor Mahia, Masingenge, ni ng'ombe, mkatazo. Na we only allow kutumia t-shirt ya kanisa kama kuna function ya kanisa. Na kwa upande hii niliona tuko pande ya musician na mimi kama kiongozi. Alafu ingine ya kwamba ya mwisho, kanisa ya PCEA nikija, nimekaa kwa PCEA kwa muda 50 years. Na kuna sheria. Na kuna siku moja nilikuja hapa nikakuta msichana mmoja amekaa pale kwa kona ile anakula chips. Kwa sababu nilipoingia kwa church hii nikakuta kanisa inanuka chips. Nikamuita. Nikamwambia wewe ni mgeni wa nani? Akaniambia ni mgeni wa fulani. Nikaita hiyo mgeni, hiyo mtali kwa sababu wake, we don't eat in the church. Alafu kuna pia kwa hapa tu ile kiti ya mwisho nilikuta kijana mmoja amekaa na msichana amekaa hapo wanaongea. Mimi haikunifurahisha, nikamuita ni hayo tu.
Thank you. Pesa ya jamaa. We take your question. Engineer Kamunya ndio hiyo microphone sasa ukimaliza maswali yako utatembea nayo.
Asante sana. For the opportunity. Thank you so much. And Pastor for the teachings. We appreciate the depth. Now, my question is, there are so many things that need to be done, and especially on creation of implementation plans, the measurement of success, the success metrics, the stakeholders involved, and all that. We have templates. Now, if you limit to We have standard templates that we can use.
Thank you. Kama umesaidiwa na wazazi wako kutengeneza swali, hiyo then tuende kwa engineer Johnson hapo nyuma.
Praise God.
Amen.
First, I want to thank Pastor for the session. It has been very informative. In fact, this day that you start SERMINAR, we appreciate you. Now, the question, maybe a clarification, I don't know. It's about the ask which question. What do you ask matters? So does how you ask. Like, how do you ask? I don't think what I'm making sense or if you have the question, but how do you ask it?
Okay.
Maybe that's a kind of clarification.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Pigeni makofi hiyo ilikuwa mambo ya wangu. Haya, patia Tina Johnson.
Bwana asifiwe. Kwa mimi sikuwa na swali la swali wako.
Okay. Atanisaidia kuji.
These seminars tunakuwa nazo tukiingizwa kazi. Does it mean that it's only wakati tunaingizwa kazi tunafundishwa maneno kama haya, or we can have to kwa sababu if another subject can be covered, or maybe you take that one ya watu wote wanasema hiyo ya meeting na so that we can be below that. Kwa sababu we need these teachings more than because leo imekuwa excellent and I really thank God for the last one. Unajua sisi engineers ndio naona hiyo anasema template na tena kuna kitu inaitwa critical path analysis. Sisi tunajua ukijenga nyumba at the same time unachimba mchanga, unajenga wall, at the same time unachimba choo because they can go together. But in a church, lazima tumalize moja ndio tuanze nyingine ama what happens. So we need these teachings especially as we go on.
Thank you. Hiyo ndio kujibu. Eunice then okay.
Praise God.
Amen.
Praise God again. I'm doing this, but nilikuja kama nimechelewa. Poleni sana. Ni mambo yenye mtu hawezi ukaepuka.
Thank you for sharing.
So, thank you Pastor Morgan. Yeah, you have talked so much, but although I came late, so I don't know where you start. But I want to ask this question. You told us that you're not supposed to ask God a question, but sometimes we feel we want to ask God. Tunataka tuulize Mungu maswali gani? Because for sometimes tunaona hii imekuwa ngumu. Which kind of question can you ask God? And tumeambia hata Mungu tunaibaga, hatutaki tuulize Mungu maswali. So wakati wa kuketi chini mwisho wa mwaka, inaweza kuwa mwaka jana, mwaka leo, mwaka huu mwingine hatujatimiza yale tungependa, na swali linaweza kuwa ni hili: tunakubaliwa kama viongozi wa kikundi kupanga projects na kila mwaka tunaona hatufaulu. Sasa tunaweza jiona kila wakati sisi ni failures. Tusaidie hapa.
Mpigieni makofi. Naona ingekuwa ni kweli. Kwa ambush. Kitu moja mama Kena ananitisha nayo ni Kiswahili. So yeye na mwanadamu mwingine anaitwa Rufu na mwingine ni watu ambao laini yao sikanyagi nikiongea Kiswahili. Kwa sababu hata nyinyi mnajua yangu ni ile kofia jiani kutoka Tanzania. Praise the Lord. Now before I invite Reverend to deal with those questions, there was a question that occurred to me on this kind of seminars. Let me approach it in two ways. Number one, last year when we trained leaders, thereafter we invited specific groups, treasurers, deacons, and such. And this year we want to do exactly the same. We'll invite all chairpersons and their vices to come and tell them the role of a chair and a vice chair in a group, in a congregation, in a parish. So then we'll invite all secretaries because we need them to cover minute writing, report writing, and all that. So we'll be doing that. Then we want to lock the treasurers in one room, probably not for hours, but for an entire day. Because we need all our treasurers to have right books and how to fill in those books, how to extract reports from those books in a timely, systematic manner. So from the treasurer of the district to that of the congregation to that of the group, we want to ensure that all treasurers are template and they are following through and they are filling the right information at the very right time, such that when we are coming out to ask for a report, it will be very easy for us. For example, you're just about to hear that the report of the parish is needed and it will be generated from groups. And then that's when you hear people asking, which template are we using? And that's why you find a secretary now going to the small books. The one he said, unachomoa hii, mkutano hii, hakuna makaratasi ingine, kuna wakati alikuja kwa mkutano hapa akiwa ametoka sijui soko, akapewa foolscaps hapa na tabula, akaandikia siku hiyo, ainu naongea mambo ambayo haifanyiki huku, inafanyika mtu wenyewe. Nyinyi mkiangalia hivi, mko na kitabu ambacho imeandikwa kila kitu na dates na matters rising na goals. Naona hiyo ni mashida ya kutolewa nimewaletea hapa. But I can tell you right now kuna secretary tunaweza uliza hapa amerudi kwa ofisi, umuulize kitabu yako iko wapi? So we want to deal with that. But let me answer that question in a different way. When we found that some of the topics, for example, parenting, we may call people for a seminar and they will not respond. We brought those seminars in the pulpit. Si katikati ya mwaka tumesomeshwa na mtu mambo ya parenting. Si tumesoma debt management. Such topics were brought because we want the entire congregation to learn what is this that we are discussing. And let me finish by saying this. This year, as a session office, we want to build the capacity of our people more than anything else that we shall do. The problem is this: are we going to show up? Or we will take the attitude of the daddy quality you keep on road. You don't even make us 61. needed to make now a kind of comment. Najua hizo zilikuwa maswali. So comment ya hii inafanywa kwa akili. Comment ya hii of the seminar of today inafanywa na wakili. Namuona kule. Huyo ndio mali ya kwenda hiyo. Atenda kwa mkono yako. Comment ya ile inafanywa na Benediction. How are you, sir? Good. Just a general comment. Ani Allah kujitoa hii. Kabla atamole. Mtikweli. Hai ndio. Kwa sababu ulipogoza vizuri kwa hiyo. Haya, patia ikaru pale na kuja kwa wakili malizia kwa tele.
Bwana asifiwe. Jina ni Kamau Gikalo, Kristo ni Bwana.
Patia hii.
Nashukuru sana kwa mchungaji Vasco kwa yale yote ametufundisha. Na tukijua kuwa kufundishwa ndio tunaweza jua kutekeleza. Kuna wengi ambao kulingana na vile mchungaji anasema walisoma last year, lakini yale ambayo tumesoma leo sio kama yale tulisoma last year. It's an encouragement that we should be able to be attending and more people to attend. I request we adopt a situation whereby mtu akichaguliwa kama chairman kwa kikundi moja asichaguliwe secretary kwa kikundi kingine, so that we can have as many people attending such seminars. Because when it comes to a situation whereby when the chairman kikundi hiki ndio secretary kikundi kingine ndio treasurer kikundi kingine, then you have denied other people opportunities of coming to learn about leadership. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Bwana asifiwe. Nako sio hiyo mchungaji anasema, kama nitasio jina yake. Jina lake ni Nathaniel Teodoro. Na nimeokoka asubuhi hii. Nimependezwa sana na ile semina tumepata, na tukaelewa mambo mengine nimesoma huku na huku, lakini mengine sijasikia. Mambo ya vile mnaanzisha group mnafanya namna hii, lakini it is very educative na it is important, kama vile our Reverend has said, that we have last year we have those seminars of secretaries, treasurers and so on, and they are also very useful. And it is very important. Maybe people do not appreciate why they are called, but they are very useful. Even if one is not to be, even if one is going to stop being a secretary or holding a position, these seminars can also help in personal life or in private life, in whatever business or whatever you are endeavors, whatever you are. This kind of seminar is applicable all around. And I thank Brother Vasco very much for coming up with such a good seminar. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bwana asifiwe. Praise God. Hata ninashukuru Mungu kwa siku hii ya leo kwa sababu ya kuwa hapa. One thing I want to say is that every time we come for such seminars, hata companies naona wanapeleka watu for refresher courses, kwa sababu tunaweza kufikiria and even Reverend Vasco kuna mahali alisema that people will think that they know so much. Ukiangalia we know very little. So this all is very good. Once we have such seminars, ni vizuri kuja kwa sababu hiyo tunaweka ndani yetu na kusaidia sana. Miaka mingi tumekuwa kwa seminar na okay, there are people who are saying I don't want to go to those seminars because I know so much. But when we come to these seminars, at times we are amazed because we think we know and we do not know. But if I believe what we have learned today, it will help us to do what we have been elected to do. Thank you so much, Reverend Vasco. even coming all the way kuja kuangalia tumefika wapi, ile msingi uliweka umefika wapi. Na Mungu, tunaona Mungu ametuendeleza vizuri. Our parish minister, we want to thank you so much, the church leadership, everyone, because we have all participated, and may God help us also to continue tusikufe moyo, kwa sababu tukiwa positive, because we have to be focused on where we are going. Hata kama ni lazima tuangalie nyuma, but more so we focus on where we are going. So God help us, what we have learned, to put it into practice. Kwa sababu hata katika neno tunaambiwa we should be doers of the word, not just be hearers. Bwana asifiwe sana na tubariki.
Thank you. Thank you for those comments. We'll keep on learning and coaching and training. So I want to invite the Reverend. After he responds to the questions, the session clerk will do a roll call. Ndio tujue nani ameingiza kazi leo. If you don't hear your name and probably you're still here, there could be a reason why. So the names that the session clerk will call, will leave with them today, then we'll leave with another bunch later. Smeelewa hiyo? We'll be reading names for people elected, so if you miss your name, there could be a reason not to it. So that's not coming. Let's appreciate him as he comes.
Thank you. I don't promise to have all the answers, but I will respond. The first question was on boundaries, on groups. And the example that was given is that there is a child who is disturbing. So is that a responsibility of the church school or the children ministry, or is it the ushers, is it the deacons, is it who should take that? I would say that groups operate independently and their roles are stipulated in the standing committees, whether it is the Women's Guild or the Brigade or the PCEA, it is there. However, when it comes to issues of responsibility in the church, it's for all of us. Because you cannot be able to see something going wrong and then you say, this is not my responsibility. For example, if you find that there is a tap one we cannot allow. However, our altar is not guarded because we believe in the priesthood of all believers. So that is the responsibility of the usher and the deacon to ensure that no disturbances are there. And you yourself as a person, you will know that when the service is going on, we maintain order as much as we can. That is it about the altar. The other thing is about the implementation plan, where we have a standard isn't it? Like sukuma wiki. There are plants that will take 6 months, like maize. There are plants that will take 1 year. There are plants that will grow in 5 years, like the oranges and the macadamia, isn't it? So when you're starting a project, ask yourself, is it for 3 months, for 6 months, for 1 year, for 5 years? So that you don't start a project for 5 years and you are here for 1 year. So what is it that we're able to implement within 3 months? What are we able to implement within 1 year? However, leadership in PCA is in perpetuity. So where you left, somebody else is going to take over. So if the project was for 5 years and people have left, the leaders have left, the others who are coming in, that is why we have handing over and taking over. So that you can be told, we have started this, can we continue? And if the leaders want to continue, it will be okay. However, I don't guarantee that they are going to continue. Because there are some people who come and say, you ilikuwa yao, sasa wacha tupange yet. So, however, that is not a good way of leadership. Because even if you have a different vision, there is a way
why we said a decision is made already in the session that even groups, we shall raise all our monies in the month of February. All groups. That's why we have taken a Sunday school day, but we know how to do the programs the year week. But for fundraising, we want to be doing it only one day. We raise for every other group. Ndio tuanze kufikiria mambo ambayo ni short term and long term. So there is a day coming gate inaitwa beautiful gate borrowing money. Now we are at the beautiful gate of entering Milimani and we are borrowing money. We must throw away the box. Then your neighbor must throw away the box. So we tell ourselves whether it is the beauty or it is what we can utilize with this property. Number two, the other day a reverend asked his parish a very provocative question. Anawambia today the nyumba hapa ya ghorofa hapa, anamwambia the space is small. Aliwauliza a very technical question. Go with it. Aliwaambia kama hii compound ni yako as an individual, is that space small? You know there is a way we tell corporate it can't work. Lakini wewe mwenyewe ukipata, imagine tungekukatia hiyo space hapo wewe, what can you do with it? Ulizia nini? Uone inafanyia nini? Unaweza angalia urembo wakati huo. So let's think, I like the Vasco's idea. Wachana sasa kufikiria outside the box. Throw away the box and ask yourself, if this compound was yours, how best? Probably you would be having a skyscraper here. Sio? But for as long as si yako, na hii kitu haikushukuru sana. Hiyo ni shida ya kiradi na sami hapo, tunatuletea mambo gani? So tukimaliza lunch, tutakuwa tena tukimatani. Mambo yote ni mtu anaandika kama sababu ya hiyo. Sawa, after lunch, PTN hapo, so we have already been told to ask questions. Ask critical questions. Uliza ile, ukiuliza hapo mwingine anaweza kitu, yes. Me want those questions. We can't sit on comfort zone and then we make progress. Such that, tukitoka benchmarking, kuna watu watawambia vile walianzisha and we will come here thinking completely different. So that is the assignment I've given you as an immediate. Mkikizwa kukazi hivi, tuende lunch, tukutane pale. Mimi sitakuwa hapo, nyinyi muulizane waliwaona. In fact, Elmajalaba ni wakuonyesha, architect alikuwa ametuambia tufike kwa hii pila. Ifike mpaka hapa, tuache. Hiyo story nyingine tuachane nayo. So let's ask ourselves, is it fire? And then, he had said we'll put something temporary, such that in 5 years, tukifikiria kuibomoa, hatutahisi uchumi. But we have already made money like 200 or 50 per month. You are the leaders in guys. Mwaka huu tunawakalia, hakuna decision tuna make bila nyinyi. Hata ikiwa ni kuwaita breakfast and impromptu one. Hakuna wakati mwingine tunafanya project hapa. Sisi viongozi ndio tukaipiga na huko nje. We have learned a lot. Hakuna wakati mwingine tunafanya project hapa, viongozi waende kuuliza na huko nje ni nini hiyo wanafanya. Ikiwa we are not very clear, tawaita hapa. Tuulizane tena. What did we agree? Because like all we are doing is from the AGM last year. So that is our immediate assignment. Moja ni tuongee ile. If you throw it away, tell us how else we can achieve the same goal. So we want to discuss alternatives. Was there a point of alternatives? So if you tell us, don't do this, then come with an equivalent or a better alternative. So, but don't give us, don't tell us, don't do. Ukituambia don't do without giving us an alternative, you're not helping us. So if you tell us, don't do this, then tell us, do this instead. But to improve it, you may say, then don't do it this way, you can do it this other way. We are open-minded to those discussions. Session class kwa sababu naona tuka yetu ni kusonga kidogo, kupitia deacons, ukiitwa jina lako unachomoka. I'm now going to invite leaders.
Wanasifiwe. Naomba mchungaji na Benediction, you can just come forward. Alafu itatolewa sasa so that we can wanasifiwe. Nataka tuimbe huu wimbo unasema ni kwamba ukori ya Mwadhani. Then after that, don't only the first stanza. Anataka tuimbe na Kikuyu. Sometimes nilielewa vile na Kikuyu. Si kweli? Yeah? Ni kudo kuli yake. Mwadhani district, rather than deacons. Either two you just stand, I'll just be noting here. Elder Peter Mwangi, Deacon Peter Mwangi, hapo. Ruth Njogona, and Catherine Nyabla, hapo. Santi, just come forward. Olive Mary Kafue, are you there? And Komepiana apology Samuel. And Lilian Getao, are you there? Okay. Jerusalem, Beatrice Wamboi. Beatrice? Okay. Forward. Teresa Mugoni. Karibu na Margaret Lee. Margaret? Okay. Beatrice. Okay. Rehoboth, Grace Lomo. Carol Kahena. And Mary Boro. Mary Boro, are you there? Okay. London, Peter Gevenya, he had an apology. John Karanja. Karanja, you're there. Ruth Wangeshi. Ruth, an apology. Section 58 to have an apology. Baraka, Mary Soka. Bill Howard, you're there. And Mary Jerry Bowie. Mary, okay, thank you. Milimani, we have Jane Wahome. Jane, Purity, I've seen her. And Johnson Kamala. Creta, Regina Corey, she had an apology. Jemima Monene. Jemima, yeah, you're there. Sorry,